Welcome to the Pennsylvania Historical Markers series. Thanks, everyone.
Hey everybody, this is John from the Hometown Historian channel. We're actually standing here in front of this rock. This plaque the last time was not here. They actually, I guess, had taken it off to clean it. So we're going to flip this around here and talk about the Union Canal Tunnel and its significance. This is actually a Pennsylvania historic marker series video. We're going to go over to the historic marker here shortly and then talk more about that. So I have this cool stone sitting here, and like I said the last time, this plaque was not here. So the plaque here says directly beneath this hill is the old canal tunnel, the oldest in the United States, originally 729 feet long and cut through solid rock. It was a part of the old Union Canal connecting the waters of the Susquehanna River at Middletown with those of the Schuylkill Navigation Company 2 miles below Reading. Work on it began May 1825 and finished in June 1827. Simon Guilford, Lebanon, PA construction engineer. The first boat passed through Tuesday morning, June 12th. It came from the Tulpehocken, now Myerstown, Tulpehocken town, the previous evening, and was named the Alpha. This site, donated by Henry Meyer Snavely and his wife Josephine Ulrich, is boulder and tablet placed by the Lebanon County Historical Society. And it has a few names there. And this sign is a replica of the original 1932 bronze plaque, which is now in the collection of the Lebanon County Historical Society Museum. We viewed this from down that way, and we'll actually probably go there because I'm feeling pretty darn good. We're going to go down to the Union Canal Tunnel Park, which is on the north side of Tunnel Hill Road here, and then down this way is where the tunnel actually goes, like right underneath here. So we're actually going to view it from above. There's what's called the mule path, because with the tunnel they couldn't have a tow path along, which is how they hauled these canal boats along the Union Canal. Would have been along a tow path, and they had either a mule or a horse would have gone along and pulled that. But with the tunnel, there was no way that they could actually do that. So they actually had the mule path went over top of this hill, and that's what we're actually going to go along. And we're going to look at the canal tunnel from above, and we'll go down through. But we're going to go over to the historic marker, which is the point of this video, which we didn't do last time. We were at the historic marker Reddit, but this is an actual Pennsylvania historic marker series. So let's go down there. Hi, hello once again. We're here at the Union Canal Tunnel Pennsylvania historic marker. This is a monument to the first canal tunnel in America, and it stands not far up this road, which will be back the way we just came. It was built in 1823. The tunnel under the ridge may be reached by a short walk down the hill on either side. Union Canal was opened in 1827 and operated until 1884. So we're going to go down this way. We're going to walk through the grass. We're going to go down to that path, and then this will be the first time I've actually approached it from the top here. I've approached it before, and we had it in the video, and Cliff and I also approached this, and we did a video on that Searching for Lebanon series for history in Lebanon. This is one of the sites we visited, and pretty cool. And of note, I will say, this is the oldest transportation tunnel that's still around to this day. That in the United States, or it might even be in North America. I'll have to look that up, but it's the oldest one. Actually, the three oldest are all in Pennsylvania, but this is the oldest transportation tunnel in the United States, possibly North America. So let's approach this from the top, and then we can go down. There's a cool sign down here that gives a bunch of information that we'll look at, but then we'll get the chance to look at the tunnel, and then we'll probably turn around and drive down to I think both sides of the park, because there's some other really cool plaques that are going on down through here. And like I said, I've never approached this from the top. Never attempted it, so. But it is a really cool. They have on Sundays through June and July, and probably further, that they actually run a canal boat through the old tunnel, because they preserved not only the tunnel, but they also preserved a length of the actual Union Canal. So you can go along that. You're not allowed to kayak or do things like that, but it's pretty cool to walk along and just see this is what the Union Canal was like, you know, back in the late 1820s. You think about it, it's 200 years ago now almost. And this was really, you know, this was, we think about tractor trailers now as our major transportation of goods. Back then it was the Union Canal, you know, and canals like that, you know, throughout Europe, England, United States, and you know, eventually it became the railroads took over and shut the canal down. But you can see there the canal walls there, and it's a cool thing to note as well. They did have to, when they built the Union Canal originally, they did not build it wide enough. They didn't take into considerations that the boats would get much wider to transport more goods and such. So they actually had to expand this tunnel to make it wider. So it actually shortened in length then. But they did everything by hand, which is just extraordinary. You think about, they went in there with like chisels and all that, and this is a heck of a thing to do. We're going to go down to the docks because you get a better view of the tunnel opening. You can actually, from this side, you can see through the whole way. The other way, just because there's a little bit of a curve to it, you can't. But we'll quick go out on this dock. Check this out. But there it is, and you can see down through the whole tunnel then. But yeah, so this is the oldest transportation tunnel in the United States, possibly North America. So we got some people popping down here, and this is the canal itself. So hey, cool, there's like a fish. You can see a little sunny in there swimming in there. But over here is a sign that has a couple of different things. They talk about here how they, to raise money to construct a canal, they had originally started in the 1790s down. They talked about Tulpehocken, which is now Myerstown. They had, you know, George Washington got that started, and his friend, the Lay family, Michael Lay, I believe it was, or his father, Christian Lay, that served with General Washington. And they had the first 3 locks that were built down there in the Myerstown. It's called Tulpehocken. And they built the first 3 then, and they just ran out of money. So the second time when they did, they created a new company, and they wound out having this lottery. And with this lottery, they would allow people to invest in this canal. Unfortunately, a lot of the proceeds didn't actually go to the canal. Sort of, there's a lot of corruption with those types of things. But they were able to get it started again, and eventually got the Union Canal built. It was a huge operation, a huge undertaking. And here they'll show, actually in the one picture, you see one of the mules pulling a canal boat, carrying passengers, those types of things. And but it did, unfortunately, in 1885, it ceased operations due to just the cost, and of course the railroad sort of put it out of business. And there you can actually see when they were going through and refixing it up and getting the tunnel, because it had gone into quite a bit of disrepair, and then Lebanon Historical County Historical Society took over and they did all this to like fix it up and take care of that. And then you see a couple more where like some mills and things of that nature. So I think what we're gonna do, because I'm feeling pretty good, we're actually gonna walk down through here, and we will go down to some of the neat other plaques. It's like I was hoping there's a plaque. One of my friends, Luis, he runs a channel. It's called Simply Exploring and Adventuring. I'll actually put the link up. He was just here, I think, on Sunday, because they have something called Union Canal Days, which I believe that's run more towards the beginning of June, like right after Memorial Day, and they'll actually take you on canal boat rides through the tunnel. It's a pretty cool experience. I believe that thing is motorized, so it's, you know, be a different experience from when they have mules going along the towpath, which I believe this is the side the towpath would have been on. And like I said, that path then that we came down, that would have been the path that went up and over. And on the other side, where the other side of the canal tunnel, that's actually, there's homes like right over top of that. But it's always just so beautiful coming out through here. It's a great place to come out and do photography, nature photography, that type of thing. Just very, very peaceful, except when you have people coming down and yelling through the tunnel while you're in the middle of doing a video, but whatever. That's just sort of people. I think the last time when Cliff and I did the Searching for History series for Lebanon, there were a bunch of kids yelling a bunch of perverted stuff. Like, just, it was like, it was one of those things where you're like, sheesh. Yeah, you're not shocked by it or anything like that, but it's still sort of ignorant that people do that type of stuff. But it's also sort of commonplace as well. I want to say once again, while we're walking, use this little bit of time, we're not talking about the Union Canal Tunnel exactly. Channel's doing well. I mean, we've been, I think, 10 straight days of content. This will be the 11th straight day. I have quite a few things, thanks to Colleen, to several other people that are giving me content, like viewer submitted videos, and then just a couple of different things. Like I have the one war story, it's Tales of Hometown History, that I'll be doing. Also be doing that Pearl S. Buck video for the heroines of hometown history. So we have quite a bit of stuff, reasonably easy to film. What little I do have to film, I do have a couple of them that I do have some stuff for historic markers for Topolcom Path and Conrad Weiser. And this was back when I did the Conrad Weiser homestead. I filmed those two markers, so I have those I gotta do. But I want to get as much research done on Conrad Weiser, because honestly I don't know a ton. I've read quite a bit, but actually saying I know what I'm talking about, like I like to do a lot of research before I do those videos, so I general knowledge of the subject that I'm talking about. But those will be upcoming at some point. And there's another fishy. It almost looks like a small little bass. I don't know if you guys can see it in the video or not, but yeah, you definitely cannot feel how toasty it is. There's another one. I always love seeing the fish, the silhouettes in the water, and that's a sunfish there. Once again, I don't know whether you can see that or not, but he's just sitting there in the middle of that sort of whiter or lighter area. This is a great place too if you like herons. You'll see quite a few of them in here, because it's shallow enough that they can stand in there and then they can go and lunge in and get themselves some fishy dessert. And there's a couple more fishies. There's 3 fishies. 3 sunfish sitting in the middle, and there's another one over there. I loved fishing as a kid. We had this pond on the Greenpoint property with the cabin, and we catch mainly sunfish. There's one right up towards the top. That one you might actually be able to see. He's just sitting there. They have that little spot on the side. But we used to catch sunfish, trout, bass, all different types of fishies, and we put them in that pond, and then I'd go out there and throw pieces of either like corn or bread or something like that, throw that out in the pond, and the fish would go nuts over it. But it used to be fun. And then you could see the fish swimming around there. They got bigger and they were happy, but eventually the silt built up, and pond was no longer a pond. Now it's just basically a really small stream. We used to have a hole in there that was almost 6 foot deep, and all the bigger fish would hang out in there. I'm not really sure where that plaque is that talks about, because he took a photograph of this one bronze plaque that talked about the mule path, and I didn't see that anywhere. So, but there's a big one here that talks about the history as well of the Union Canal Tunnel. We visited this the last time. I believe Cliff and I did as well, but I wanted to show you this again. Union Canal Tunnel. Designated a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark in 1970, this tunnel is the oldest existing transportation tunnel in the United States. At the time of its construction, it was considered a work almost unknown in this country. Dug through the ridge dividing the waters of the Whitapahille Creek and Clark's Run, the tunnel was originally 720 feet long. Drilling was done by hand and blasting with gunpowder through, I'm not even going to try to say it was slate rock, with veins of hard flinty limestone 80 feet below the summit of the ridge. Progress of the work was 5 years lineal per week, or 5 yards, sorry. Work began May 1825 and was completed in June 1827 at a total cost of $30,464.29. The tunnel's length was reduced to 600 feet during the canal enlargement in 1858 at the cost of $8,280. Simon Guilford was the engineer in charge with John B. Ives as contractor. First boat to pass through the tunnel was the Alpha of Tulpehocken on June 12, 1827, and boats were pulled through the tunnel against the ceiling while mules were led over the top of the ridge. So we're going to take the walk back. We're going to walk over here. Maybe you can be able to see down there, and you can see the boat that they used today. You can just barely see over there. There's that white thing is the boat. It's the Union Canal boat that they take through here. You know, modern boat. And like I said, I think it has a motor, but just so pretty and so serene. But well, we will turn this back on as we're getting back to the tunnel, and then, like I said, we'll take a drive down to the other side and then view it from that side as well. And that'll be our latest adventure here, Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and checking out the Union Canal Tunnel, oldest transportation tunnel in the United States. And like I said, the second and third one, I believe those as well are also in Pennsylvania. You know, this is one of the states we had quite a few canals and things of that nature. You know, you'll hear about like the Erie Canal would be probably the most famous of canals. I believe that was called Clinton's Folly after the governor, because a lot of people thought he was nuts for trying to undertake something like that. But we'll see you in a little bit. So I decided I was going to come down here anyways. I changed my mind. It's cool they have some of these stones here as sort of the parking barriers. would have been from the walls of the canal. So there is a small sign here, so we'll quick look at that and read it. Just give you a little more information, and then we'll see if we can get down there and do a little bit of filming. I contacted my friend Luis about when he went there, just to see where that sign actually is. The economic impact of the Union Canal. When opened in 1828, the Union Canal provided an economical means of transporting heavy goods to the markets in the east, mainly Philadelphia. Small boats towed by one mule were able to move upwards of 25 tons, compared with a wagon powered by 6 animals able to carry a cargo of only 5 tons. After the canal enlargement of the 1850s, several mules moved larger boats of 75 to 80 tons. The Canal Company, along with connecting routes, brought prosperity to the interior of a new nation and supported the economies of cities to the east. Its route through the borough of North Lebanon, north of what was then the city of Lebanon, provided business opportunities and employment for the citizenry of the area, who in turn moved to this section of the community, building homes, schools, and churches. And then it talks about the Friends of the Union Canal Tunnel Park. This is the only navigable section left of the Union Canal, along with the oldest existing transportation tunnel in America. But the Irish immigrants labored 12-hour days in its construction. When a family was the crew of the boat upon which they lived and worked most of the year, and a young nation was emerging to take its rightful place in a changing world. So I see there's another one over there, so we're going to quick run over there just quick. Alright, so cool, we finally found it. It's right here, and that would be the mule path that went up there. That goes in amongst the homes, which goes over to the parking area where we were sitting. Beginning in 1828 with the opening of the Union Canal and the passage of the first boat, the Alpha of the Tulpehocken, teenage mule drivers, both boys and girls using this trail, would lead their mules over Tunnel Hill from portal to portal. The canal boats carrying their cargoes of natural resources eastward and finished goods and products westward would be pulled through the tunnel. Commerce on the canal reached a peak in the 1850s, but began to decline in the 1860s due to costly repairs resulting from storms and the competition from the railroads. The Union Canal ceased operation in the early 1880s. So we're going to sneak down there then so you can see it from the north side. So here is another plaque. It's cool they had these historical plaques along here. It's the construction of the Union Canal. The Union Canal was first conceived by William Penn in 1690 as he sought to establish a community on the banks of the Susquehanna River, now Harrisburg, to begin opening the interior of Pennsylvania to assure that the raw products of the colony moved to the port of Philadelphia. No action was actually taken to implement his plan until 1762, when the American Philosophical Society of Philadelphia, under the leadership of such men as David Rittenhouse, the astronomer, and Reverend William Smith, surveyed the route first suggested by Penn, thus making this the first canal route surveyed in America. The result of the survey concluded that the construction of a canal through the Lebanon Valley was a feasible project. The War of Independence delayed any action on construction until 1791, when a charter was granted by the state for the Schuylkill and Susquehanna Navigation Company under the leadership of Robert Morris, the financier of the Revolution. The work on the first 5 blocks and a 10-mile stretch of canal began a year later in the Prescott-Avon area, which would be Myerstown roughly. It was here President Washington viewed its progress in his visits of 1792 and 1793. The original investment of $400,000 was rapidly depleted, however, and within 2 or 3 years all construction ceased. In 1795, the state legislature authorized the company to conduct a lottery to raise the necessary money to continue this project. Although the lottery was enormously popular throughout the country, very little of the proceeds actually found their way back to the company. 1811, with additional financial backing, work continued for a short time under a reorganized company. At that time, the S&S Navigation Company was united with the Delaware and Schuylkill Navigation Company, forming the Union Canal Company. It wasn't until 1819 when a state government, desperate for the canal to be completed, guaranteed new stockholders a 6% dividend per annum. That investments increased and the canal was finished. The first boat to pass through the tunnel was the Alpha of Tulpehocken. So we'll just go somewhere else because people just talk over me. I hate when people do that. So this is a cool little feature here too. They have sort of like the water comes in and you have the stonework from the original canal, and it goes the whole way down to that bridge there. We'll go down to the north side. Those are the same idiots that were shouting into the tunnel and throwing rocks into the thing. People like that need to be smacked upside the head. Sorry folks, that sort of pisses me off sometimes, because clearly filming something and then just blah 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 blah. I'm ignorant. But anyway, so hopefully you heard most of that. The rest just was sort of blah 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 about this, that, and the other thing. Continue to talk about the construction being completed and what the people got back in return for their investment. Not really sure which side I like more. I think this side's really, really cool. You can't get as close, unfortunately, because there is a little stairwell on the south side that you can go down, and some stones sitting there that you can walk over to get much closer to the actual portal, if you will, or the open side there on the south side of the tunnel. But now there's somebody fishing down here, so you can see the tunnel side there. We're not going to go down and interrupt their fishing, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's just sort of like out of nowhere there's the tunnel. On this side you can't see the whole way down through. I do have some pictures that I got. I will post those and I'll give you a little bit of a closer look at it. And like I said, I'll post as well in the comments my video from before that I had done towards the beginning of the channel, and we get right on top of it there, and then you can see what it looks like a little bit better. You want to check that video out. But once again, sorry, I just, you know, they on the other side, they just were like screaming and yelling into the tunnel. I don't know, like, I understand people wanting to have fun, but like, I'm only gonna be there for a second, and it's just like blah 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 blah, and then swearing is like a two I really don't like. Especially like my content is meant for families and that type of thing, and then these idiots come up and start running their mouths loud and then saying stuff that I really don't want on the video. But anywho, it is what it is. That's part of, if you go out in a public place, you're gonna run into that to a degree. Usually people are pretty respectful that somebody's there filming, but then you have other people who just clearly don't care. But anyways, so I had a lot of fun with this. It was cool, these different plaques. I forgot that they were all here. I hadn't seen that other plaque, the mule path one, because I actually had asked my friend Luis if I could use his picture, because I was like, I can't find this thing. And then I started to feel a little better. I was like, you know what, let's walk down there, check it out. I'm glad we did to complete this video. So with that, this will be the ending, I guess, and we will say ta-ta, farewell, and so on and so forth. And until the next adventure, we will see you guys all about town. Say bye, Chuck. Beep beep. I promised a couple pictures, and this is one of them. This is on the north side where we went down. The people were fishing. There is a sign there that goes into detail of the actual construction and how hard it was. This is a picture of the canal boat that goes down through along the length of the canal there that they have operational. This is at the tunnel. It's the plaque for the National Historic Marker. And coming up here, this will be the much closer of that one. It's the historic site, National Historical Landmark, I believe 1994 it says there. And last but not least, this is a little bit closer of a picture of the north side of the tunnel, that entrance. And thanks everybody.